Hey, hello, welcome, good morning, good afternoon. John Morris from Morris Flyco. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I tie the bronze god, and that involves a brush. Okay, so this is a brush I made. I'll put it up here as 4K webcam. It's the brush I made. That's Ripple Ice and Starburst Fiber from Black Tire's Dungeon. Or you can use, if you don't make brushes or any of that stuff, you can just use the EP sparkle brushes, I think they're called, from Enrico Puglisi. So like EP Fiber, same place you get those. You can get EP sparkle brushes. You can get them all the way up, I think, to like 2 or 3 inches. Um, I'm gonna make a brush with you guys. We're gonna make a gold brush, maybe a white brush too, but we're gonna go over that, how I make my brushes, and then we'll tie up the fly. The fly is super easy. The brush is a lot more complicated, but it's really not hard. So stick around and we'll get to it. All right, welcome back. As I said, my wife's over here tying flies. It's Sunday morning. It's March 30th. This is my Oasis dubbing. Uh, Oasis dubbing benches. Sorry, my words aren't coming out right. This is Flat Tire's Dungeon Starburst Fiber. This is metallic gold. And this is Ripple Ice Fiber from Hairline. Golden olive. So it's RIP 159. And we're going to be using those to spin the brush. So you can make your own dubbing table. You can do this in a dubbing loop with thread. This is 32 gauge stainless steel wire. Got this from Amazon. You want the stainless steel so it doesn't rust out. You can get 250 foot for like, I don't know, like $10, $15. So you're going to hook it. You're going to spin it a little bit. I kind of pinch in between my fingers. You can't see this, but I'm explaining it. Maybe you can. I roll this one towards me. I'll take some scissors, some crap scissors I got. I'll clip that tag in so you can see. You can actually kind of see here that little sharp tag. Be careful not to hit that. Roll your wire over to the other side. I wrap it. I pull it tight, and I roll this one away from me. Then you can tuck your wire under. So now your wire is tight here, and that's very crucial. And the Oasis tables have two different colors on the benches. So you've got a dark side and the light side. Um, if you're feeling like Obi-Wan, use the light side. You're feeling like Vader, use the dark side. So do whatever you like. My wife thought that was funny. I hope you do too. Um, roll this wire out. Get it back under here. So there's a ruler down here. We don't need a ruler for this one. If you're making very specific brushes, like lengthwise, so like this is a 2 inch brush that I made. I use these for my game changers. That's a very specific length brush. This one's not quite as important. This brush might come out a little sparse. We're gonna we're gonna hopefully be able to keep it from being super duper sparse. Just gonna lay this out up here for now. All right, so just for reference, for all you nerds out there like me, this ripple ice looks like it's about 5 inches. Okay, so kind of sparse but straight. I'm gonna pull these stragglers out, lay them back up here. Same thing over here, kind of straighten the fiber out, lay it down, and you're just gonna make them touch, not kiss. That's all you're gonna do. Go over here, just make them touch. Spread them out a little bit. You don't really want them super overlap like that was. Because if they're like that, if you just put this there, all that's gonna get bunched up very, very, very bad, and you're not gonna have a good time. Okay, so you do your best, take your time. See all this scrap right here? It's not necessarily scrap, but we're gonna have to get back through all that and straighten it all out. Oh, my tinnitus is ringing. And we'll go there, go there, go there. We might actually be able to do, we might do two brush colors. Pull that out, lay it down. You can kind of see right here, that's not straight. We're running in line with the board, however you want to say it. Make sure it's not all like that. And we're there. And we're there. Then usually you'd be a bit more dense, not in the head, but with your material. This extra, I'm just going to roll up and I'm going to throw that away. All right, so we're not using the whole table right now, and I don't really like that. So I think we're going to go ahead and lay out some of, you know, we'll just see how this turns out. We're going to go more at the middle though here with this. So we have, it has room to build up here and room to build up here. I don't have a tape measure. I do have a ruler down here. I would say this brush currently is about 10 inches. Probably closer to 9. All right, so now we're going to take this starburst fiber. We're going to lay it out on top. Pull it straight, keep it straight. Lay it out on the top. Pull it straight, keep it straight. And we're going to do pretty heavy amount. I'm not going to say like, oh, a pencil width. I think that's one of the most bullcrap things to say. But I guess it works for people, and it's worked enough for people to be able to get them to acknowledge what the dimension is. Okay, so now we got all this cool gold. Usually I like them to be, the tones to be a little different. I wouldn't mind putting a little bit of brown in here, actually. I got some scripts. Yeah, like you could offset it with that, or maybe a little bit of olive. Olive might look good. All right, cleaning off all this little clippings down here. Wife's being a raccoon right now. She's digging through the trash. All right, coffee break. My wife made me this coffee, and Walmart made me this shirt. You are gonna need a wire dog brush too. You're gonna need one of these dudes. I didn't say that earlier, but you're gonna have to brush this brush out to get it to keep it from binding. Otherwise, you'll just have a really tight dubbing needle with a wire cord, which is, I guess, cool for some stuff, but kind of a waste of resources and time. All right, take your wire that is under the table, come across, wrap it over, pull it tight. Once again, I'm going to go away from me. We're going to wrap down to that last one. I'm going to take my crap scissors, cut it. I'm going to find a little nick on the top of this so I can store my wire. There's actually a little wire storage spot right here on this. That's for like thread and wire. You put the wire up here, and there's a little roller dude right there. Hey, it's kind of irrelevant. So now we're gonna roll this towards us till it gets tight. By tight, I mean I want to see this start to spin over here on my left, your right, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna roll this over here on the right. Gonna pinch that, get it a little bit tighter. Catch this, get it a little bit tighter. And then move this over. You gotta pull the table out. This is your last chance to make sure everything is lined up. Not on the ends, but on the corners. Heavier materials will try to slide out on you. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty centered. We can maybe go up just a hair here. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna spin. We're gonna spin from this side of the wheel. And it's gonna be pretty tight right now. They kind of look like crap. I'd be a liar if I told you how many times I spun this. Alright, that's pretty tight. I don't want to go and brush this out in the middle, like first thing. Be kind of light on this first, brushing a little bit. And you're getting it started. Alright, so it looks like it's gonna turn it alright. I'm just holding the brush to give it some extra support right now. Later in this process, you don't really have to do that. I'm gonna come back through now, and I'm really gonna brush it. Alright, so we went from having nothing. It was all looped up. You guys saw that. That's why you need the brush. All right, you can pull it all to one side, do whatever here. I'm just going to keep it all to one side, and then you can actually see, like as if we were going to palmer it. You don't have to do this. This is just kind of fun for the sake of seeing how the brush spins. See, that's how it works. So you can see this end right here is not actually getting as tight, or maybe overly tight. We're going again, going again. It's probably about as far as I want to go. Brush the crap out of it, spin it up. All right. Can't you can't really see over here, but this is about a finger width now. Just about a finger width, which means we're getting pretty close to this wire wanting to snap. This is stainless steel wire, soft metal dog brush. You can do a whole lot with this stuff. See how thin that core is on that? That's very nice. That's a very nice and thin core. I'm going to show you when this breaks what to do, just for the sake of showing you, because you're going to break a lot of the wire on these brushes. So now we're a finger width, right? Don't, when you're turning this, don't leave your finger there. It's on a spring. It'll squish your fingy. It won't really hurt, but it'll make you crap yourself. So, all right, so now we're real tight. Real tight. This might be our last chance to brush this out. Oop, caught it. Didn't break it. Caught it, but didn't break it. All right. We're actually looking pretty good. Man. All right. So I was gonna show you how to break this, but I'm a filthy rotten liar. And I'm not gonna break it because this is turning out really good. So, but if you do break it, one of these sides will snap. Just come in, flip it, pull the loop off the other end, and you'll be fine. But to unattach it, you push the spring side in, loses tension, and then you should be able to slide this off. But we can't. We're actually so tight we can't do that. So we're just going to flip it anyway. We're going to come down here. And that's what happened. Slip that loop off. So you can see we got some sparse spots. Spots are a little bit more dense. One spot here in the middle that's pretty naked. So I'm going to take that loop, I'm going to put it back on here. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Take this brush. See, if it breaks, it's a lot harder to brush out, which is kind of the point I was trying to get at, but got sidetracked. Right here is pretty sparse. Get it focus. Right here you can just see straight wire. That's pretty sparse. But the brush itself is also pretty sparse, which I don't mind that at all because I do like a thin core. It makes it easier to wrap. But you can look at the core on this one, and it's more like a chenille in the center than it is a because that's because I used a lot more ripple ice in it. Like I used a whole pack of ripple ice in this brush. But now we got a gold brush. This one not being as dense means we might need a couple more wraps. Typically, you only need like 2 or 3 wraps to veil the fly. So, um, gonna drop this down, get the vise out, set the camera up again, and show you how to tie the bronze god, which is a maybe someone else's fly. I don't know. Uh, I think it's mine. I don't really know. I'm calling it the bronze god. If someone else ties this fly, put the name down in the bottom so I can give them credit. But I will see you here shortly. All right, these are Arex TP610s. This is bottom. Hmm, okay. Arex TP610. There's a couple ways to go about this. You can kill away the bend of your hook. You can do dumbbell eyes. Originally, I used dumbbell eyes. Now I gotta find my bobbin. There's a bobbin loaded up with some Vivus. Now we're gonna tighten the bobbin up. Start the thread, pull that sucker back. Use my good scissors, which are merino meds. Use those fellers. Come back here, open spirals, get a first start on it, and I come all the way back to here. And come back up, crisscrossing those wraps. Get a good thread base here by the where I'm going to put my dumbbell lines. Actually, I'm going to make this one a swim fly, but that's what I'd do is I'd come up here and I'd get that good thread base, and then I'd start my eyes up here. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take some 3,000 lead wire that I can't find because I was thinking about, no, I've got everything. I'm going to take some 3,000 lead wire. I'm going to take an inch and a half. I've got a ruler on my desk here. I'm going to go inch and a half. We'll see how many turns that is. I don't count turns. I always just measure it because I want this to be more of a swim fly on this one for where I'm going to be fishing later. Ooh. All right, there we go. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wraps. Okay, we're gonna come over here. Actually, I can bring this dude down, get some light on the situation. We're on in the top of the bin, not quite down in the bin. Gonna raise this up a little bit. Gonna flip it over towards me. Come down to the bottom here. Come down some, come up some, come down some, come up some. Just gonna get this all locked in. I like looking at this other side because this is the side that oftentimes when you're doing wire will not get covered up appropriately. Oop, just slip that down. And then we're going to glue this after this. You can also just take like a piece of mylar or just not cover it at all and just glue it. I like covering it though. So now we're up at the top, run back forward, run back down, get a little bit more of this thread down here. So once your thread starts to build up here in the front, it's going to try to slip on you. So get it built, come down, come back. We got something in my bobbin. You hear it pulling like that, it shouldn't be doing that. Flip it over. I apologize for this being a long video, but it is what it is, man. You gotta. So I'm whipping the front up here. I don't. I have a bobbin cradle. I don't have it on. Find an old piece of marabou or something here. This cone head piece of paper. I'm gonna use the side of my zap to coat that. You see how it's not really. There you go. I never close my zap though, because I lose the lids. So I make sure it's all wet and soaked in a little bit here. You can see it drooping down right there. I'm gonna take this piece of paper. Let me get some of this excess out. So now you can see it still looks wet, but it's not wet like it's gonna drip down. We come back. This is where I'm gonna be tying in. I'm gonna let that dry, my thread right there. I'm gonna be tying right in front of the board. Quick check, make sure we're still in focus and everything. Okay, we'll probably scoot this back just a hair. Let me see if this looks neat. Probably. Probably. Okay, so now we're going to take 2 to 4 strung saddles. These are looking pretty similar in length and shape. All right, how long do we want this fly? Because these set the length. I'm going to say, I'm going to measure this about 4 inches. And if you go too much longer than that, it looks kind of stupid too. Fish, they'll eat it, but it looks pretty dumb. So we're setting it here. We're setting it here. Pinch. White pressure pull. Right back on just a hair. And pull this up. Snip with my good scissors. My Reno meds. Tying down the rakuses or stems or whatever you want to call them. Back to that spot up here. All right, they're twisted a little bit. There's no going back. They are where they are. I should have checked it a little bit more. They're not super twisted, but you can kind of see here. Not the best, not the worst. Okay. Now we're going to take some brown marabou. This is all the marabou I got left that's brown, and it's in pretty rough shape, actually. So we're going to use this short dude. We're definitely going to use this short dude. And we're going to use that short dude. And you actually palmer this marabou. Come up here. Got it. You come up here. And palmer it. So you come up, pull your marabou back. This makes it a little bit more, um, I'd say stronger, but that'd be a lie. It gives it a fuller body though, and that's not one. This is how you can build more of a body with your marabou. You can stack it high and build body, or you can palmer and build body. Usually you just find like one decent piece of marabou and you could accomplish this with that, but we're going to be using three pieces. I can pull my thread back a little bit here. We're going to come over that loose wrap, make sure it's actually where I want it. Pinch, 1, 2, 3 in front, 1, 2 in the back, 1, 2 back on top of it, snip it, clean it up, clean it up, clean it up. A couple more. Like I said, usually you just do like one and do pretty open spirals with it, but we're having to use three small ones. It's really bad. We're not going to use that. This one's really bad at the bottom. We won't get much life out of that. We might just stack the. If we stack it, you just stack some, like how Kelly does his barely legals, I think they are. So we're going to grab these two pieces, find the tips, pull these together, snip that in, tie it in, even rounds, tie it in, clean it up, come up here to the front. We're going to palmer the rest of this out. She's probably looking at maybe 2 or 3 rounds. You can do this with all kinds of different colors. I call it Bronze God. Uh, two jokes, right? One there is had a buddy used to tell this story about his first time in Afghanistan. One of his crew chiefs was out on a shipping container panning, and he was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Bronze God, baby, Bronze God." And I always thought that was really freaking funny. And so 2, 3 on top, 2 on the front, 2 in the back. Oh, clean up that butt section there. Clean it all up. Clean it all up. So people refer to smallies as like bronze backs. So you got those little bitty flickering tails, because this marabou does breathe and it opens up, but you got that little bit of flickering tail back there. And now we take the brush. Okay. This this is where you find your crappy scissors or your wire cutters. So do not use those. Use these. So I snip that in. I don't want a ton of trapped fibers here. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 over the top. Pull back 1, 2. You're seeing the trim here. 1, 2, all over this tile 11. Because you want that locked in. Right, we're up to the front. Then we're even all the way around. Half hitch there on the front. Right, this is a big long brush. Don't usually have the full length here. Usually I cut them into sections, but we're going to go 1. Pull it back. Open wraps here. 2. We should be able to finish this with 3 wraps. Palm around, I guess 3.5 technically. Pull that back, pull that back. Maybe 4. I'll have to go back and look and see, but I really don't care. If you be honest, so however many wraps that was to fill it up. We're leaving a little room there at the hook eye. Keep your wraps tight. Okay. We're going to pull this back a little bit more. Kind of separate these fibers from the wire so I can get my thread over it. And do a little loose a pinch. And come back around. Pinch that down real tight. Pull this brush back. I really don't want to have that big, so couple wraps there. We're going to come in real close. Right, so this is important. I want to make sure you can see this. Well, this is important. You see this little piece of wire here that I left that long intentionally because I want to do a couple more wraps behind that and fold it back and trap all that on top. This is a bigger head than I would like on it, but it is what it is. All right, so now we got this ripple ice, pretty much angel hair brush tied in. It veils that marabou. We do half inch. Pull all this weirdness out here. Not out of me, but out of fun. Maybe going to not mess up her finger lip to me. Perfect. Pull that tight. Getting all these little fuzzies out the way. Good scissors. A little bit of zap. Okay. Take your time. I got a lot of trap fibers up there. So you do not want to bullet head this with your glue. So we're going to drop. I dropped. I'm going to take a sacrificial hook here with some of these fuzzies off my finger. Cover and coat that whole thing. Do your best not to get it on the fiber, because if you do, it's going to be stuck there. This bonds to that fiber. You can see how it's kind of there on the nose a little bit on the, that's technically the collar, the start of the shoulders. So all I'm doing here is I'm doing the same thing I did earlier. Is I made sure it got soaked, then I'm just drying that out. And there you have it. The Bronze God swim fly version. Super light, easy to cast. This is 5, 6 weight, 4 weight kind of stuff all day. Usually the Gleesy brushes are probably about an inch shorter than that. Um, it just kind of is what it is on this one in particular. What's the one look? Showing, but all sorry, what's the camera? All that's going to expand, and that's the Bronze God. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoy fishing it a lot more than you do tying it. But yeah, the EP brushes, you can get like some copper colored ones. It works the same. I make my own brushes. I find it a little bit more rewarding. And I'm John Morris, Morris Fly Co. Go catch some smallmouth. Be safe, be kind, eat your vegetables, and we'll be seeing you.